Welcome to Smores Indoors and welcome to the Midnight Files. We're going to talk all things UFOs tonight, and I guess I've not kept up with it as much as other people, but I guess a lot of information came out today, and some other stuff has come out as well. So we're going to go through some of that. Thankfully, the old co-host here on S'mores Indoors, Jonathan, is up to speed on a lot of this. So let's introduce him right now. What's up, Jonathan?
What up, people?
I'm excited to see what all's been going on because I've been a little social media dormant lately and haven't kept up with a lot of stuff. So,
It's fucking weird, man.
all right.
It's weird.
Well, I look forward to hearing about it. And also tonight we got Flesh Wound Dan as well as always. What's up, Dan?
They are among us. What's up, gentlemen?
Good to have you both here tonight.
Good to be here.
We may be
So,
informed by other people, I think. So
okay, cool. Um, so when did I know some stuff came out today, but when did this really start rolling in a lot of this stuff? I know some of it was before today.
May 8th,
Okay.
that was the first batch of disclosure. And I want to say before we get started, for a serious second here, regardless of how you feel about it, whether it's real, whether it's a government psyop, whether it's a distraction, this is the biggest event in humanity, to this point.
Yeah.
The confirmation that we're not the only living sentient things here, or it's a psyop, right? And that's also bad news.
Yeah.
So it's
But
it's
a psyop
significant.
since the 40s, though, would be the thing.
Well, something's been going on since 40. Bare minimum, they hid this for 80 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well-
so it's wild what we're seeing.
40s in terms of records, right? I mean, maybe
Well,
the pyramids were built by aliens, So,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But as far as this concerted effort to be aliens are stupid, there's no proof of that.
right.
there's so many different angles on it. Like, I know with the pyramids, there are experts today who say that would be fucking hard to do now.
Yeah.
It would be impossible to do that.
And it's
Yeah.
cosmic alignments and
Yeah.
but just beyond that, just what the government is now saying is insane. There's a lot of stuff that gets cleared up in the first batch, including acknowledgement of Roswell, which is huge. There's a memo I ran across. We can try to find it here in a little bit, but that described 3 craft at Roswell, and each craft had 3 beams inside.
Well, before all this came out, I wanted to back up a little. Where were you guys through your life, just in general, your thoughts on UFOs and aliens? What were your thoughts about that? Were you believers? Were you optimistic, or what was your thoughts on the
Always
topic?
a believer. Never necessarily expected that it might be confirmed, or who knows, might meet one. I'm a little more, not certain, obviously, but I'm a little more hopeful of that than I would have been, growing up and into adulthood. I always believed that there was life out there, but it sort of feels like now it's just that confirmation. And to me, I tend to lean, and I'm sure this will come out as we do the show, I'm more hopeful about all of this. I think it's a huge thing for humanity, and I don't think it's all necessarily doom and gloom. I don't think they're necessarily hostile, and I think it would just be what a moment. We're not alone. There's other things out there, and there's unlimited possibilities out there in the universe. I'm very happy about it.
about stuff like
people.
like
What?
like what does that say about stuff like physics? Evidently, we don't know anything, right? If these craft can do that, like what else do we not know?
Yeah.
Lots. Lots. I mean, and I'm not sure like what came out today versus the last month or so now, but one thing that's fascinating to me is the 4 types of alien life that they're talking about now, and kind of confirming some of that. The Greys, I think they call them the Nordics, the reptilians, and the insectoids.
Which I'd never
And I
heard
don't.
about insectoids. As crazy as I am about like aliens and stuff. I took that road trip at the Area 51 a couple of years ago. Turns out I was within arm's reach of an alien, evidently.
I always thought with Area 51 that, I mean, I think there was definitely something there, but I always felt like it wouldn't be there anymore because it's just too notorious that it would have all been moved.
Oh,
But
we moved. I've never heard of the insectoids until this stuff. I have no information on them at all.
yeah, I mean, I know they've described them as sort of mantis-esque sort of things, and
Wow.
I know some people are like rolling their eyes when you hear something like that, but
It's the information we've been given, though. Like,
yeah,
we have to work with what they're giving us, and right now, this is what they're giving us.
I mean, we know a T-Rex once walked the earth. Is that any more like, oh my God, unbelievable as an insect-based creature that's intelligent? I don't think so. I mean, I'm really kind of curious what the end point is with it. What they will still try and keep hidden. Will they do they not want to quite go the distance? There's all these rumors right now that deep state is still kind of trying to suppress some things. I don't know, but there's just so much now, and I'm sure we'll talk about the missing scientists, and that could have to do with a lot of different things, but I just don't see how they don't exist now. Like, there's just too much. There's way too much.
They seem to be coming off of calling them aliens as well. NHI, non-human intelligence, is what they're really sticking with. So what does that mean? Are they interdimensional?
Interdimensional? Are they a version of us that maybe? I mean, there's always been those theories.
Is it different things, right? Like, are we dealing with a whole bunch of different things here, like people from the future, evolved humans or something, and alien extraterrestrials and interdimensional beings? It could be all that.
Well, they may not be extraterrestrial,
and evidently that's where these things like to be where they're cited commonly. There's an app called I can't remember what it's called. Let me look real quick. Enigma. If you download that, like, people in your area can upload pictures of UAP and stuff. And off the coast of California has reported 9,000 sightings since the beginning of the year.
Yeah, that's and who knows? Like, the ocean again could easily be hidden down there.
And we're going to see some of that here in a minute. The ocean, almost all of it takes place over the ocean and in the Middle East.
Yeah, I mean,
there's
that kind of
implications to all that as well. So this has really opened up more questions than it's given us answers at this point.
My question is when is Bob Lazar going to get vindicated? That's
what I found fascinating. A documentary from Jeremy Corbell called Sleeping Dog came out about a week, 2 weeks ago, something like that. And Bob Lazar is in it, and he finally admits to stealing a piece of Element 115 in that movie. So that's a big deal.
Yeah, because that was all but confirmed. I know. I mean, I
Yeah.
know he's apparently told people, "Yeah, damn, Cliff, you're
You can't get
nonsense."
a break.
Um,
He's consistent.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so much, and maybe they know it's getting to the point where people are going to find this out one way or another, and they're just letting loose of some of the controls. I I know like there's some people pushing for amnesty for people that want to
I
talk
think
about this
I'm there.
publicly.
I'm there. Like, just tell us what the hell's going on. We promise we won't lynch you and come at you with
Yeah.
like fire picks and stuff.
What scenario does anybody out there? It's not a question to you, just generally. Would they reveal that would make people just start burning it all
Oh,
down? I don't think there is
I'm
any
starting to see a lot that things that it could be.
that would make people riot in the streets.
Absolutely.
You mean?
Some of the religious implications alone, and I'm actually talking about in confirmation of a lot of religions, but it's something maybe they weren't, that was suppressed.
It could be. I mean, I think aliens will be that would just be incorporated into all the religions. Yeah, there was also supposedly that meeting of a bunch of different religious
Bastard.
leaders, and I don't know. Again, some of this could be bullshit. Like, there's always some bullshit thrown in with the truth. Not everybody that claims to have seen an alien or been abducted actually was, but it really does feel like we're close to something like really, really big.
Yeah.
Like I said, Trump just like fucking walks out with a gray. Like, I'm the greatest ever. Here's Xenu. Like, it could be something really wild like that. So it's an exciting time to be alive.
Yeah, we did probably get the best timeline. We're gonna get to see what happens, good or bad.
There's just so much going on right now. Not just that's like revolutionary that is going to change everything. So
yeah, well, whatever's going on, whatever world we lived in 2 years ago is gone.
I can't imagine where we're at in 10 years.
I can't either. I have no clue.
So, all right. Well, you want to get started with some?
Yeah, I should say I'm not super up on today's drops. I had to do a lot of gardening today, but I've been balls deep in the first drop for a while. So we're gonna look at some of the selected videos from the day, and then I'll show you guys on war.gov some of the cool stuff from the first drop, and we'll look at some documents from the second drop too. Those are actually more shocking than the videos are right now, so hopefully we get some better video.
So you ready for me to pull this up then?
Yep.
All right.
So let's watch. I know I've got this on Twitter, but this is legit. These are just like some of the better videos because there's a ton on there, and some of them are really long. And most of them are kind of like this. You're just going to get a small shape going across the screen. No real. There's nothing super mind-blowing here. This one's cool, though.
It's interesting.
On that back.
Now you look at that one, and obviously we could only tell so much from that video, but the people out there, I mean,
this one here is my favorite one.
Is this the glowing orbs? Like, I think.
No, this is just a giant black disc. Like, this is kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
It's a little different too than what you normally see.
Yep. So that was my favorite one from today.
Did you hear the audio from the 40s? That was interesting to me.
This one was funky too. The hell is that?
Looks like 4. Man,
I
can you
mean,
imagine being up in the air with it?
I guess if it like, what is it then?
Yeah, see, like something like that, who the hell knows? Just from, our standpoint. But what some of these pilots have been saying.
Yeah. Ghost, I see you in the chat there. I want to get your opinion on all this. Let me see here. This one's 5 minutes long. Of course, like the location and fucking everything is redacted.
Yeah. You get a good idea of the terrain, though. So.
Do you even see anything?
No.
The ghost, brings
There
up
it
an
is.
interesting.
I can see like a. Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. They're still just dots. Like, I appreciate this is cool and everything.
I mean, we don't know, like, as far as, like, that is, it's something.
Yeah.
I've seen some people say this is a Mylar balloon.
I mean, I could see them thinking that. It almost looks like there's a
string
on it.
But, like, you would hope that the government could identify that, right?
True.
There's one we're going to watch here in a minute where they blow one up. Like, I really hope if they shot something like a missile at this thing, it wasn't like a Mylar balloon, right?
Yeah.
I saw something today that they did shoot something down. Now,
Yeah,
again, not all of this is necessarily extraterrestrial, but
I think that this technology, like, we have it.
Yeah. I mean, I 100% believe that they were trying to reverse engineer stuff that is not of this,
what do we got
this
here?
earth.
I don't see anything.
Do they give you like the years on some of these, or is it just like a total?
Some stuff has information on it. Most of it's redacted. I'm not seeing anything happen in this one, dude.
No.
I mean, the thing is, though, like,
okay, there's a ship.
Yeah, that's normal boat. I'm trying to see.
Is this when they shot them fishermen? Is that what this?
Yeah, must be what this is. What is so cool about
big giant squid came out and rolled that ship?
That'd be awesome. They just throw a curveball.
Yeah,
we got Krakens too, bitch.
I think that there's definitely an effort that they don't want to be just completely known. And some of these, like the Tic Tac video, moving so fast that there would be no way to get a proper photo of it.
Dude, there is nothing happening here.
They've released a lot of stuff.
I'm trying to see if I can find the one where they shoot something. It blows apart. What's this one? This was the submarines. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that is interesting. I mean, what they would have saw from their vantage point. Ghost, I would argue like the best evidence is not necessarily.
Now here, this is interesting.
Video.
Pulsates.
For me, like the Bob Lazar stuff is very, very, very compelling. Because they were definitely trying to silence him. I mean, if you watch that doc, you know, they tried to pretend like he didn't exist. And
The Gemini 7 audio from NASA is pretty cool because they talk about something approaching them in like a craft. He calls it a bogey.
yeah. So
Streak in there.
Yeah. See what I mean? Like they're not giving up the good stuff.
Yeah.
what do you make of that professor from Stanford, Gary Nolan, who was told by some people that he treated, it was the whole Havana syndrome thing, and they had these like almost impossible internal injuries that they say were because they were within proximity.
That is wild.
a crash.
That is so. Yeah, like the idea that these things are they put off radiation.
Exactly. And this guy's not some Yahoo. I mean, he's a professor at Stanford. Like, there's no need for him.
I've heard that a couple of times.
Yeah, yeah. Age of Disclosure is a new doc, Ghost, but there is that the original Netflix one, which really kind of goes into a little bit more. But Age of Disclosure is good. I think if you just look Bob Lazar Netflix, you'll find it. Ooh, shit.
What the fuck even shot that? Was it a fucking lightsaber? What is that?
Yeah.
Well, that would concern some people.
What the fuck did they shoot?
I mean, it's just fairly significant debris.
Yeah.
So that one's good. I think that Age of Disclosure documentary is part of all this, by the way. And I think that fucking Disclosure Day is probably part of this, too. The new Spielberg movie?
No.
Yeah.
It all lines up too well. Let's look at some documents. What do you say?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if Jake was here, we'd be knee deep in Little Hat talk. So
I'm gonna refrain from all.
you talk. You say Spielberg.
Yeah. Yeah. Just set him off. Let me see if I can find my favorite video from the first drop. Western U.S. event.
And there is also that possibility that the government really at the end of the day has no clue, and that might be even more scary.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
But
I feel like they have quite a bit of information.
I think they've found something, at least as far as
Composites.
they know that there's other life out there. Now, how much of that, like, do they actually, know specifics? I don't know. I would imagine there's some stuff. I mean, how easy would it be to reverse engineer a vessel that is probably 1,000 years ahead of us?
This is a composite sketch. This got passed around a lot, but that's literally just a sketch. It's not a picture.
Yeah, no, I've seen that before. That sketch, yeah.
It'd be some damning photo if it was real.
Yeah. Yeah. So we got more dots.
Yeah.
We're just dotting it up. Oh, there's slightly bigger dot.
Well, let me ask you guys this, because there's always the why, clearer photos, and then I totally understand that, but could you just snap a photo of like one of the and I don't know all the technical terms, but one of those like stealth fighters, like the best, actual Air Force tech that we have now. I don't think it works like that. So,
Yeah.
and again, we go back to, well, maybe they do have something very clear, and that's what they're, the last step, perhaps. Get people a little comfortable that this is real. Prepare yourself, but you turn on the news sometimes, it's like there's more about who one of the Kardashian chicks is fucking than alien stuff. That's just how society is right now. And we're getting close to a point where everybody's going to doubt everything because of AI. Any
Well, I think
image.
too, I have a theory on this that when I was a kid, and we've talked about this, I was obsessed with like spontaneous combustion, the Bermuda Triangle, all that shit, because I feel like there was so much less to occupy your mind then. And that stuff was cool to think about, to read about. Now people are just kind of in their own lane. They're stuck on TikTok or whatever they're on, and they're not. You don't really have the time to sit there and like. I don't think daydream's the right word, but just dwell on that stuff. Really, if that makes any sense. So I don't think there's as much like care about that shit, I guess, with younger people.
For sure, there's a lot of people that are just living in their own bubbles.
Can you put that on screen real quick, Corey?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. All right, let's see what we got here. This is from April 23rd, 1949. Subject flying discs. This is wild looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 40s stuff is really interesting because it predates, the pop culture.
Photo of vapor trail left in the sky by explosion. On February 18th near northern Kansas was just that. It's recovered from. These are like meteors, they're saying?
I mean, really, at that time, what else would you, like they're not going to just say.
Shaped like a funnel. This is eyewitness accounts.
That's got to be like you have to wonder like the people that have seen things that just don't talk about it, like, because I mean, until very recently at this point, you would just be labeled a kook and you'd probably be made fun of. I think that's still a thing, but like now, I do wonder with 20 years ago, if I saw something or something happened to me, I don't know how I would play that. I think I'd definitely tell some friends, possibly, but I mean, how are you going to react to somebody who just tells you they were abducted or they had a direct encounter?
Yeah. So this here seems to be talking about multiple sightings in Bakersfield, California in 1948. I don't know, man. That's just what some people said, but like it's just wild that they were seeing this shit in 1948.
Logic tracks, though. I mean, you're talking the atom bomb just dropped not long ago. And if there are things out there, if you're going to go check and see what the hell's going on, that would be a huge inciting incident. I mean, to me, that it always sort of tracked because everybody's like, well, why then? It's like, well, the nuclear weapons. I mean, the hairless apes have split the atom. I mean, that's a pretty huge event.
It's a problem. Is what it is.
It's a problem, and how closely they're monitoring us. How can they even fully understand? What's their level of understanding? It is we're getting close now to this AI stuff, and a lot of that's well beyond my understanding. But I saw just today a podcast where somebody said, like, by 2050, like, it could be it for humanity because of potential things that could happen to AI once something's smarter than you that you know
Here's something interesting. Gonna have to put another thing on the screen, Corey. Sorry, it opens up a different thing every time.
That's all right.
UFOs and defense. What should we prepare for?
To me, I would be very shocked that they were hostile. They may not give a shit about us one way or the other as far as our well-being.
Holy shit, how many pages is this?
I wish I could remember because it is bipartisan too, which nowadays, that alone. The one that was talking recently about the breeding programs. Now that's freaky.
Yeah, Lou Elizondo.
That might have been. I mean, there's more than one that directly just like, yeah, there's like breeding programs, which, I mean, that if they had actual alien biologics, I think is the term they're using now, you could see fucked up experiments like that.
Oh, 100%. If they caught them, they cut these things open and fucked with them, which is why I'm kind of nervous. I'm sure they were not met with any kind of kindness. I'm sure it was all very hostile. Even the thing that Trump posted the other day with him walking with an alien, the thing's in shackles, and I don't like that.
No.
I was gonna say maybe not the best like image.
Don't posture over the ultra terrestrials, sir.
I've just got this image of a press conference, and then he's like, Zarb, and then it just like touches his head, and the reporter just explodes.
These are the only aliens we'll be allowing in the country. We have the best aliens. They wanted to come to a winner. I said, come to the United States.
We've been injecting Barron with their DNA.
That's why he's so freakishly big. Look at him. Star UFO. This was the one that got me on the first one, but it may have been debunked. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I mean, that is something to consider too. I mean, there's going to always be a ton of bullshit out there with the legit stuff.
Yeah. Okay. It's this one. Gotta share again, Corey.
Okay.
That was the first one from the first. That was from the first drop, and that was the one that made me go like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
But I've seen people say this is a parachute flare. I don't know. Like I said, I would hope that the government would know better than to do that, or would have people. It does look like a parachute.
Yeah, it does.
But that was the cool one in the first drop for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see parachute there.
Yeah. But wouldn't you hope that the government, like the people trained to look at this shit, would know?
Yeah, you would think.
But again, everything's redacted. You don't know any of the conditions. You don't know where it's at.
Right.
One fascinating thing about Bob Lazar to me too is he never monetized it.
No, he just tried to not die.
Yeah, basically. I mean, that's with him. like there's just, you could always explain a lot. Whitley Strieber, some of these people, you could explain it. Well, they did it to sell books. They did it to make money. And Bob Lazar really never did that. You know, even to this day, I don't know that he took money for the doc. So
I'm sure he did something. Like he was also running an escort service, which I'm not judging Bob on that. I'm just saying he did do that.
Yeah, but how does that debunk like what he's?
It doesn't. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he likes the ladies, right? And he was trying to make a couple bucks. That doesn't mean that he didn't see that or that he's not good with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
What are your guys' thoughts on abductions?
I would have to. Yeah, I mean, you would think like logically, if we just sent off a nuclear weapon sized signal that they've seen, logically, I would think that they at some point would have taken somebody. Why would they continue to do it throughout the years? How much could you actually truly know? Why would you even send them back? I mean, the reality is, I think if you believe the abduction stuff, everybody always ends up back on Earth. So that would kind of,
I mean, except the ones that don't, maybe. They're just missing people.
Yeah, there are just missing people too, and that's, yeah, obviously they're not telling their story, but
this is all speculation because that's all we can fucking do, because they give us little pieces of it that become more confusing than the original question.
Yeah, I remember this actually a couple stories back in early 2000s, and I was really heavy on the Art Bell at this time, but so I was doing my own in my head investigation work, right? So somewhere around our area in Kentucky, Jonathan, I'm pretty sure I have most of the details on this. My memory's somewhat decent, but there was a woman that went missing, and I'm pretty sure they found her, not her body, but found her vehicle like in the bottom of this lake.
Yeah.
And still didn't find her. But about the same time as that happened, there in Moorhead, Kentucky, there was a famous UFO sighting. And all these people saw some sort of UFO in the sky. And then after it went away, they heard a woman screaming in the woods.
Oh, Jesus.
And I always had this theory, what if it was that girl that got abducted? And
that would suck.
Yeah. I'm sure they were unrelated, but
that's like the worst case scenario of everything, ending in alien abduction.
Yes.
How would you guys? I mean, I know we're doing a lot of speculating tonight. Obviously, like you wake up tomorrow to the news or just looking out your window and you just see craft just stationary in the sky. Like, what's your move?
The fuck are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Whatever that thing wants, like that's what you're gonna do.
Yeah,
I'm glad I live away from a bigger city. if we're going the Independence Day route.
Just had a comment on about the theory that the future.
I've always thrown that thought out of what if we are the aliens that came here years ago.
There's a lot of people that really believe that we are some kind of lab experiment,
some kind of hybrid.
Yeah. I mean, if you believe like some of these scientists and stuff, AI right now, like, could that become like a sentient thing? There's a lot of people saying yes at some point. The whole recent story where they threatened to shut it down and then it like was actually going into like emails and blackmailing somebody over an affair, like that's terrifying. Like that's very like human behavior.
JG brings up a good one right here. Atlantis. It's all on the table though. That's what's happening here. Everything's back on the table as long as they're willing to provide proof, right?
Yeah. Like I said, they may not be extraterrestrial. They may have been here all along, and it's part of our
Yeah.
story. I mean, we could literally just be creatures roaming the woods to them, just critters that are here, you know.
I don't know. Like I said, interdimensional beings or demons. Like maybe right. Maybe that's what the Bible is talking about. Maybe they're jinn, like in the Quran. Like maybe that's all the same thing. They're just calling it different things. Don't know.
I don't think like yeah, I mean that could be what like an ancient man interpreted seeing something like that, you know, is. I think most things really do just kind of come down to it's something far more advanced than us. Like I could go back not that long in the grand scheme of things with a car and be worshipped as a god
Yeah, they
just by
couldn't even
having
figure out
that
how to
car.
like make any of the things on it. They may figure out how to drive
Yeah.
it eventually with enough trial and error, but they can never figure out how to make it.
No, exactly. I mean, and again, we're not talking that long. Like if
But
I
see,
just
I
bought that
think that
car
we
back,
totally did. I think that we totally figured it out. I think that most of what we're seeing is man-made, like the Tic Tacs and shit. I think that's all Lockheed Martin and Halliburton. I think they cracked that shit forever ago.
the see the issue with some of that though is why hasn't it been deployed on the battlefield? If you are that advanced, like the Tic Tac video, which pretty much everybody that's analyzed that said there's absolutely no way if the Russians had it, Chinese, whatever, insert country, then they would just be over because it would be such a vastly superior bit of technology. The Tic Tac one is very hard to explain. So I don't know. I mean, you know, look right now. If Trump had that kind of tech, do you think we would be all, you know, in a clusterfuck in Iran right now?
Part of
I
me
don't
wonders
see.
if he's finding out when we are.
That's true
Possible.
too. The people in charge aren't really the people in charge. That's, you know, certainly possible. I'm going to assume that one's not the alien.
Review Miami.
Or but and like I said, not even just Trump. I mean, Putin. Like if he had some vastly superior technology, he's not gonna just you know the clusterfuck in Ukraine. Like that would just be over. So I don't really believe anybody has you know the kind of tech that they're capable of dominating right now.
See, this is like alluding to the fact that the Nazis had this technology, and that may be even like where we got a lot of it.
We got a lot of shit from them. So
Yeah, that's one of those ones like you just got to go read on. But
yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's very true. I mean, the Nazis like had paranormal experiments and all sorts of crazy shit. That's
well, so did we. You have all that MK Ultra shit and the remote viewing.
oh yeah,
It's all on the table,
well,
boys.
and I know some of it's what was it in Venezuela, like that. I can't remember the name of the weapon, but how they all like
Oh
just
yeah,
started.
some kind of
There's
ultrasonic sound.
yeah,
weapon.
sonic weapons is what I'm looking for. Yeah, they were like bleeding out the eyeballs and sick, just got sick and everything. So I don't know. I mean,
That's what I'm saying, Mike. Does that if they had a UFO, does that mean they ran to Antarctica? They got can of worms here, folks.
yeah, no, there was all sorts of weird shit back then, like the obsession with twins. They thought like there
Yeah.
was something to that, and like twins' connection to each other. Uh, eh, really crazy stuff if you go down that rabbit hole. And you might look at it and think some of it's gobbledygook, but
I mean, they
definitely were looking into it,
doing shit to one twin to see if the other one felt it, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, Mengele did some really just.
Yeah.
I mean, the obvious all awful shit, but some really crazy shit too.
I stood outside his little office. He did his stuff then.
Yeah.
You know what? What's up with the one entire race of aliens being Aryan?
What?
The Nordics.
Oh yeah, the Nordic. See, I don't think I'd ever heard that term before, and I haven't really heard like an official like. Okay, but what are the Nordics?
Tall, light-skinned, blonde people, and they're supposed to be gorgeous.
That's one of the best stories, Mike. Is that I don't know if you guys have dove into that one. It's been a while since I've watched stuff about that, but that was it's good Art Bell fodder, and I think Unsolved Mysteries did a story on that too.
And this could really have nothing directly to even do with the alien stuff, but I think it's 15 like major scientists now have either disappeared or died. Like there's something going on with that. Like,
yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what the point, if you're revealing a bunch of this shit, is and killing a bunch of scientists that know the secrets. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, are some actually dead? I know like William Neal McCaslin, I think, was one who had worked on classified aerospace and space weapons programs, and he just vanished from his home in February. He left behind his phone, prescriptions, just vanished off the face of the earth. Now, people do sometimes just disappear, but like I might be saying some of these names wrong, but Monica Reza, a 60-year-old aerospace engineer and director of materials processing group at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. She just disappeared almost a year ago. Anthony Chavez, Stephen Garcia. And these are all like high clearance people. Now, some of this may have to do with nuclear type stuff and may have nothing to do with aliens, but just the timing of a lot of this, the disappearing scientists are just. There was even a he's more than a YouTuber, but I believe he had a YouTube channel. This like I would never self-terminate, basically, to use YouTube terms, and just self-terminated like right after he made the video. Like there's just stuff like that when you add it all together, it's like something is going on right now.
Yep.
And it's like it's a game of sorts that we just don't have.
We're just here to watch the show. We're just here to watch the show.
Yeah, it's adding it all up. I mean, I can understand like some people can't get to the point where they're like it's aliens, and I'm not saying there's not way more. I'm much more afraid of us than aliens. That's kind of where I'm at.
I'm scared of aliens.
Yeah, I believe in aliens, and I am way more scared.
Especially 8-foot tall reptile aliens.
Yeah, but I don't know. I've had this like discussion with my mom, who I'm actually still kind of surprised. She said she'd be very scared to know 100%, and I'm like, for me, it's just like if it's something that more advanced and just stronger than I am, then I'm dead. I mean, just like anything else, like I won't be able to avoid getting old and dying one day. Like it's just that why fear something like that? That's how it is.
I'm gonna hope it's cool. I'm gonna hope it's cool.
That's kind of where I'm at too, that they're curious, they're not, yeah, and who's to say that they even alien, I always say this, alien most likely would be very alien. Who's to say they have all of our negative traits, bigotry and hate and all of this? They may not even be wired that way. We might just be like, what the hell are these fucking monsters doing to each other? They might be afraid of us. They're obviously more advanced, but they might look at us thinking like, these look at what these people are doing to each other. This is nightmare fuel.
Maybe they bring the cure to cancer. You never know.
Yeah, that may be why we're not allowed to know about it. Stuff that's
true.
When you're talking about this subject, it could be a multitude of things. Like, if these things somehow mess with space-time and space, does that mean they're time machines? Does that effectively mean that if you have the access to this technology, you can go back and fuck with time? Or
I don't know, the time travel. I mean, we're getting into different territory here. I don't know if that's possible or not. Although, again, there's like,
what these things are doing is not possible. So,
yeah. Well, there's the interdimensional side of it, but
they seem to have no like the laws of inertia don't exist to these things.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Like, there's also all that about lost civilizations and some of that. I'm not as knowledgeable, and I'm sure somebody's going to watch this podcast and just like, this is what you're trying to think of. But some of this shit that they're finding in the water now that almost looked like rock formations that, something made forever ago, potentially. There's all this stuff in Egypt right now going on, like, as far as there's some people speculating that the Egyptian government might not be entirely honest about some of the things they're finding.
No.
Yeah. I mean, I think a government like that might be a little bit more hesitant to reveal some of that. I don't know. I don't know. I really think,
my opinion.
I was gonna say something about that. I was on there a ton of them are bullshit. But
which one?
Crop circles. A ton of them are bullshit. Like, you've seen how people can make them or whatever.
Oh, but yeah. Yeah.
With all these little orbs, man, I could see them making those patterns.
Yeah, I never put a lot of stock into the crop circles, because sometimes they're like in the middle of nowhere where, yeah, a human being could absolutely do that. So I don't know. I mean, it's possible. I just never really.
That's something else that used to fall back there back in the days of the Bermuda Triangle and shit. Crop circles was huge.
Yeah.
And then someone came out with a video on how they did them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a big waste of corn.
It is.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, somebody with enough time, if it's, the middle of Nebraska or something, which is where a lot of this tends to be, yeah, you could do that. If you gave me enough time, I could probably figure it out. So I don't know. Crop circles aren't the most compelling to me, but some of this aerial phenomenon, I mean, something is going on. Either
it's there.
Yeah.
Either there's somebody on this earth that's like 1,000 years ahead of us somehow with their technology, or
which is just not the case.
No, because again, if somebody were that powerful, they would just be the overlords of I mean, that's how humanity sadly is. If we had it, I don't think we would be entirely. I don't even think we would be entirely kind to people. Like, when you have that kind of absolute power.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't believe anybody's got that. I don't believe China has it. I don't believe Russia's has it. I don't think we have it.
I think that more people on the face of this earth have it than what you know. It's just, it's kept under tight lips.
Yeah.
I'm just going back to the crop circles for ghost here. I've seen videos where there'd be like 30 people out there working on them, so they could do them pretty quick.
It was like a board and like rope, right?
Yeah, and they just kind of step it in a circle. Had a little map of how
It's
they
still
were going to do
impressive.
it. It is, yeah. Mine would look like shit, I guarantee it. So.
Yeah, for me, the more interesting stuff is like the Tic Tac video and how.
I want to see an alien. I need him to bring it out. Just bring him out on TV. We're there. We can handle it.
I don't think that the freak out would be as strong as people seem to think. Like my mom, who thinks like, yeah, there would be just people losing their minds. I think you might have a few nutters out there doing something, but I really think most people are just going to be, wow, that's.
If when they come
real.
out and say that like non-human intelligence is real, it is going to cause some sort of an existential panic for a large part of the population, and it should. It really should. That you really, if there's this other realm of consciousness and intelligence, you really should think about how you're handling things.
What was that country like a year ago that brought out what they said was their alien bodies?
Mexico.
Was it Mexico? Okay.
And I think Argentina had the mummies.
Okay.
The pterodactyl mummies.
Now, wasn't that debunked? I know there was one a while back that was
the mummies, as far as I know, have not been debunked.
Okay. Yeah, I know there was something that was debunked a while back, but yeah, it's fascinating. And somebody just mentioned like that the government has stuff 10 years ahead, probably more than 10 years, but not 1,000 years, or however long. A lot of these pilots that have had these experiences have said like there'd be no need for a Russia or a China or any, superpower rival that we have to hide that. Once you had it, that's it. Like you've won. So I don't think we have anything like that. And if we had a craft, if you believe Bob Lazar and some of his stories, which again, he is the most fascinating fascinating story that I've come across. They may not have had a whole lot of luck, reverse engineering this stuff.
I think that it's in the private sector that has most of this technology.
I'm not sure if I've seen this photo, Mike. I mean, maybe I have and just don't know it by name, but I'll look into it.
I'm sure I've probably seen it, but
been to Miami Mall, dude. Maybe.
Keep forgetting to check for you, Shadow Ben.
The Calvine UFO? It's like a diamond.
Yeah, there's some aerial phenomenon that, sure, maybe it is like an experimental jet, but
okay.
The Phoenix lights are also very interesting.
Yeah.
The ones where it's like a lot of people all at once that see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
it's getting to the point where, and I've noticed a couple more people telling me that they've seen stuff before, kind of recently.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't say. I mean, I've seen some weird things. Nothing that I would go as far as to say was that, but I don't know. I think just adding it all together, and it would bring, I think, a lot of hope for people right now, because it just seems like everybody is. We're just in a really weird time where I thought like everybody would kind of come together and we'd be moving towards a Star Trek type.
No, we want to burn oil and collect land. That's what we fucking do.
Yeah, it does feel like we're kind of reversed,
Kill the wild animals. So
Yeah.
Ben, you're right
Yeah.
about the Vegas thing. That seems to be the same creatures described at Miami and Vegas, like 10-foot tall shadow beings.
But well, let's say that was real, and that that seemed like that might have been BS. But let's say it's real. Obviously, a creature like that could just fucking kill you. So, what reason would I have to necessarily freak out about it? I don't know.
Fellas, I got to
keep
take a
going back.
break real quick. I'll be right back.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Yeah,
More stuff will come out.
And I really do hope that they just put it all out there. It really seems like a lot of the stuff that's redacted, there's not much of a reason for it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now, even just being just some, peon sitting in his lazy boy, like I can tell, like there's nothing, like this stuff it's not Russia, it's not secret laser weapons, it's not that. It's very obviously something more, and just out with it. Like, just let us know. And I think if they have found bodies, like I can understand they may not release everything they've learned necessarily about it. I'm sure the first thought is always going to be, how do we weaponize this? But just let us know you got it. That this is 100%. Like, yes, we do have these bodies. Ghost, I'm glad you actually said that, because I don't think it was the mic after all. I think it was what do you call it? The connector where I connect everything. But this is still a cheaper mic, so I'm probably going to get a better one eventually. But yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I think,
So sorry, I lost my thought there.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, I think this will be a show that we keep bringing back, and we can change up the topics on it. Kind of an Art Bellish type show. Keep the Midnight Files name, and we can change up the topic. But it'd be fun to kind of explore some other stuff on that type of the paranormal, the aliens, ghosts, whatever we want to cover. But
yeah, and I think you'll find, like, there's other stuff I'm a little more skeptical on. Like, as much as I'd love to believe it, I don't believe that like Sasquatch is real. It could have been once upon a time. Now I'm open to that, but something like that, I think the whole, like, why don't we have a clear picture? Everybody's got a camera on their hip now, so like that, unfortunately I can't. It's possible, but I think it's very unlikely at this point.
I look at everything with a little bit of skepticism, just because I want to see the proof, whether it be ghosts, whether it be, some of that shit. I kind of think there's something going on, but I want to see a definitive proof of what's going on. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I was just telling Dan, Jonathan, I think we should continue this Midnight Files show, and we can always change up the topic and come back.
Well, there'll be
stuff.
more UFO and UAP stuff coming out every 2 weeks. So bare minimum,
definitely do that. We'll find some of those old Art Bell topics we can look into and see what was going on with those. So,
absolutely.
I think we'll wrap this one up for the night. Thanks to everybody out there. Had a pretty good chat going on. That's good to be hosting again.
Share, subscribe too.
Yeah,
because we will be doing more of this, so be sure to. Yeah, I think these are fun shows.
Oh yeah, sure.
Thanks for bringing all those clips and things, Jonathan.
I'll probably be more prepared next time.
Yeah, you did fine. And Dan, thanks for coming on. You want to mention anything you guys have going on?
So we're Flesh Wound Features here on YouTube. Since I'm sure there's some new people watching, we do horror and cult film reviews. We are also a pro wrestling promotion now, so maybe we'll have the first alien professional wrestler. Possibly, it could happen.
Could be.
We need
Bastards.
we need one of the big. Yeah, we need an insectoid.
You need to almost.
We need that. We need an insectoid to take on Kruger. But if you are a wrestling fan and you're in the California area, July, oh boy, I don't have it right in front of me. July 19th, you've got a Death Curse will be live. It's our live pro wrestling tribute to summer slashers. So that'll be July 19th on Sunday at the Reina Dome, and October 3rd, last tournament on the left 2, which is our death match tournament. But we're crowning our first Scream Queen champion in July, so we do have our women's division. So check it out, fleshwoundfeatures.com for tickets.
Cool. Everybody check that out. We'll be back here Monday night for the new Monday night live show, and I think Dan will be here with me, and going to kind of go through my Mondo Macabro collection as of now, and there's the little thumbnail for that video coming up. And Dan's going to give us some insight on those titles, because I've seen a few of them. I haven't got through most of them yet, but you can tell me what I should attack first, probably. So
Sure.
So we'll be here for that Monday, probably around 11 p.m. Central, and have a fun night there. So till we're with you again Monday night, everybody take it easy.